Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be responding to a thread started by someone called Jessie over at the Beatlessubmarine channel, and basically it's 20 Beatles questions she's put together to which I'm going to do my best to answer. So yeah, the Beatlessubmarine channel, firstly though, sort of there's about 4 or 5 of them who post videos and that, all like kind of like similar ages to me, and yeah, the videos are quite funny, quite amusing, like a lot of the time. So definitely do check out their channel. So on with these questions. The first one is, who is your favourite Beatle? And for this one here, I'm just going to rule out 3 of them until we're left with my favourite one. So firstly, I'm going to rule out Ringo. Fully just because he, I don't think that he was as talented as the others. Like, he was a great drummer, but just like songwriting wise, I don't think that he was up there with them. And also now I'm going to rule out John Lennon as well. This will probably like shock a few people as well. But yeah, but I just feel that his stuff with Yoko, he went a bit off then. And also his kind of like his activism, like his power to the people. Give Peter a Chance, those kind of songs. He seemed a bit preachy though, like during that time. Although he is definitely the most interesting one, like he's one of the most interesting characters from the whole 20th century. He's like a fascinating guy, but just not my favourite Beatle. And I'm going to now also rule out Paul McCartney now. Yeah, like this will probably like shock a few more people actually, because like probably like enjoy his solo stuff a bit more, but it's just like, again, like it's sort of like activism and that, like in like the early 90s, like with his vegetarian stuff, what he was doing then, like with Linda and that, it seemed that he was forcing his opinion on like a lot of the people like attended his shows and that and everything, and also his attitudes to George Harrison's songwriting, like at the end of the Beatles as well. Like he didn't like give like George enough space. So yeah, there we have it then. George Harrison is my favourite Beatle. Probably just because he's like the most relatable one, really. I mean, he's a incredibly talented guitarist. He put out like amazing albums, like All Things Must Pass, Living in the Material World, and Cloud 9, all brilliant albums. And also, again, I can sympathise with him like at like the end of the Beatles and that Paul not giving him like enough space. Well, and John as well, it must be said. Just the camera bit here. So yeah, George Harrison, my favourite Beatle. Now on to next question here, which is favourite Beatles era. And for this one here, I would say the transition period between Help and Revolver, kind of where like they're moving away from like the mop tops and going in a more psychedelic direction. Probably just because it's like I think like the music during that period, like it's like the best music during that period. But yeah, like yeah. So that's that one there. Just because I think like my favourite songs come from that time frame, so 65 to 66. Next one is, how did you get into the Beatles? And I don't really know actually, but I think it kind of dates to when like the Love album was coming out, which is basically a remix album of like Beatles songs done by Giles Martin, George Martin's son. But like he he remixed Beatles songs of that for like this Cirque du for the Cirque du Soleil show. Yeah, so that was like, one that I was listening to like a lot, still do. I think it's a fantastic album actually. And also my dad's vinyls as well. It was mostly this one here what I listened to, the Blue album. But it also has this one here, the Red album. But I couldn't play this one on the record player because it's on red vinyl. It's quite a long story, so, but I won't go into it. But this one here, like I was very much into the later Beatles though. Before kind of almost discovering the earlier stuff actually. And also it was this album here as well, what came out about the same sort of time, Memory Almost Full by Paul McCartney. Because this album here originally came free with the Sunday paper, like just like a wee paper case and that, but I've bought like the proper CD here, but I lost the original one actually. But yeah, this got me interested in Paul McCartney's solo career. Now, question, I think that it's 4 here, that I'm not keeping count because on this document here I've not got the number of questions on it. But it is favourite Beatles song. And this is a very tricky question. I mean, they're all great, but I'd say my least favourite ones are, no, my favourite ones are You Never Give Me Your Money from Abbey Road, and Something as well from Abbey Road is great. Norwegian Wood, In My Life, that's a great one as well. The Two of Us from Let It Be. Just looking at Tomorrow Never Knows is absolutely fantastic. The No One's great. Yeah, just like there's a few. I could go on and I pretty much list every song from every album. But yeah, like there's like a few of my favourite ones. Favourite Beatles album, I'd say most people tend to say that this changes a lot of the time. For me, it doesn't really. It's always either this one here, Revolver, or Sgt. Pepper. I've not got out yet, but you all know what that looks like anyway. So it'll be Revolver or Sgt. Pepper. But at the moment, I would say it's Revolver. Just because like every song on it is absolutely brilliant. It's just a masterpiece, really. It's an absolutely fantastic album. So yeah, Revolver, my favourite Beatles album. Next one here is what other artists do you listen to apart from the Beatles? And I'd say Wings, The Fireman. No, I'm only kidding. No, I also listen to ELO. Like Jeff Lynne is a genius, I think. Pink Floyd are great. The Kinks and Simon and Garfunkel, Paul Simon stuff, and 10cc. They're a few of my other favourite artists. Least favourite Beatles album. Now, I'd say for this one they didn't really have a bad album, but I'd say like the one what for me doesn't stand out as much as the others is With the Beatles, which was the second album. It just for me it didn't seem like an improvement on Please Please Me, but it still has some great songs in it, but then some slightly weaker ones, which leads on nicely to our least favourite song by the Beatles. And I'm not going to say Revolution 9, although yes it is a track which is on a Beatles album. It's not a song, it's a sound experimental collage thing. So, right, yes, I'm not going to say that, say Revolution 9, but I'll probably say ones like Dig It from Let It Be is not that good. The Continuing Story of Bungalow Bill. All now looking at like more of like the earlier stuff. What Goes On, Ringo's song, Ringo's song from Rubber Soul lets the album down a bit. Mr. Moonlight is a not a very good cover, and also Little Child as well, from With the Beatles. So there's a few of like my least favourite Beatles songs, but I haven't got that many. Then I have favourite Beatle wife, and I would say for this one here, Linda McCartney. Simply just because she supported Paul throughout the breakup of the Beatles, and that she encouraged him to get recording a bit more, to make albums like Ram and establish Wings, and also just she was at the subject of many of his greatest tracks, like Maybe I'm Amazed and My Love. So yeah, favourite Beatle wife, definitely Linda McCartney, I'd say. Favourite Beatle movie. Now, I'll say Help for this one. Probably just because it's a very funny, very silly film. It's in colour as well, and also I'd say that I prefer the songs from the film Help than like A Hard Day's Night, for instance, or like Magical Mystery Tour as well. No, don't know, but like Magical Mystery Tour's not a good film anyway. But yeah, but I'd say Help is a really good all-round film. Yeah, so Help. Favourite Beatles outfit. Now I don't really have one, but I mean, if yeah, but if I were to have one, I would go with like the kind of like one from like the transition period, and I'd say these ones here, what they're wearing, the ones that they wear like on like the back of Revolver there, that there, they just look really cool. I think they're sort of rocking the sunglasses and yeah, the flowery shirts and stuff, so it's pretty cool there. So that would be my favourite Beatles outfit if I were to have one. Next one here, well again, like I'm not keeping count here, but how have the Beatles inspired me? Now, I don't really know for this one. I'd probably say play the guitar a bit. I mean, yeah, do the guitar a bit, and yeah, also buying records as well. I'd say buying their music. They inspired me to do that, and I don't really know what more to say for that one. Next one here though is favourite Beatles instrument, and this one was actually pretty easy. I would say it would be Paul McCartney's Rickenbacker bass, which I've got on a poster up here. Just there's a bit of glare on. That one there, what he's playing there, is Rickenbacker bass from like the Wings Over the World tour. So so yeah, like, that'd be my favourite like Beatles instrument. Like I just wish I play it a bit more now because it like really is like iconic from like that Wings period, I'd say. So yes, favourite Beatles instrument, Paul McCartney's Rickenbacker bass. And favourite solo career now is also Paul McCartney as well for this one, I'd say. This was a fairly easy one for me, I'd say, for a few reasons. Firstly, he did the most, and also his like his output was very consistent. But he didn't have like an awful album. I mean, he had a few ones but weren't as good. But I can enjoy all of his albums, whereas with John Lennon, I mean, he had like his weird stuff with Yoko, and then sometime in New York City, which I'm not too keen on either. And George Harrison as well, like he had like amazing stuff, like All Things Must Pass, and then not so good stuff like Extra Texture, Dark Horse, and Somewhere in England. So I'd say, yeah, Paul McCartney favourite solo career, just because he was like most consistently like most consistent throughout. Next one here was a question what I didn't really get. It's Taxman or Eggman. No idea what this means actually. If it is what song I prefer, I would say Taxman. But that does kind of sound like the wrong answer. So I'd say Eggman, but I have no idea what that one means anyway. So I don't know. So say Eggman for that one. Next one is anything you don't like about the Beatles. Not much for this one though. People who have been responding for this one here say the drugs and that. Really, I mean, for me, like I'm not too bothered about that because he got some fantastic music out of it, and they didn't really like encourage it. Really, they just sort of did it, and then like made fantastic stuff out of it. So like I'm not like advocating the drugs at all or anything, but it's just well, that doesn't bother me too much. I'd probably say the breakup, maybe, like the fact that they broke up so soon, like after like only like 8 years, but yeah, but then like if they didn't break up, we wouldn't have had classic albums like Plastic Ono Band, All Things Must Pass, and Ram, because they wouldn't like exist like in like the current forms anyway. But I suppose it would have been like interesting to see what they would have done like had they continued for a few years. But yeah, like it was time for them to definitely break up, I'd say. So anything I don't like about the Beatles, not much I'd say for that one. Like they're pretty good. Why do you like the Beatles now? Say for this one, the music is great. The music is fantastic. Songs they have, and I could also say like they each have like their own like individual personalities, because at most bands of that you kind of find they have a front man and like a guitarist and that, or like whatever, and then like the other members just seem to kind of well be like in like the background a lot. Whereas the Beatles, it wasn't like that. Yeah, you had John and Paul, but like George and Ringo were definitely like interesting like individuals as well. So that's why I like the Beatles. Well, the individual personalities and like the music, which is fantastic. Any Beatles merchandise now? Now I've got a few Beatles t-shirts and that, quite a few books and a Beatles mug as well. So yeah, quite a bit of merchandise as well, and also my school bag as well actually. I bought at the London Beatles shop here, so that's my Beatles school bag. So yeah, I've got a fair bit of Beatles merchandise, I'd say. Next one, question 19 now. Favourite Beatles child, and I would say Danny Harrison for this one. He just looks so much like his dad. I mean, like he seemed like at like the concert for George and that. well, it could be George Harrison for like 63 there, really. I mean, like, he's a spitting image of him. He's a very talented musician, and like he also seems to like kind of care about like, the fans and that, because he very much like supervised the Apple Years box set and that. Like if like like he seems to like care about his dad's legacy, almost. And like he seems like a very genuine and down to earth guy. So that's a so I'd say Danny Harrison as my favourite Beatle child. And our final question here: if I could talk to the Beatles, what would I say? Again, another one I've not thought of, because definitely know that I won't be able to talk to half of them. I'd probably just like thank them for the great music they made, really, and like being such like an inspiration, really, and just like say like thank you for giving like everyone like so much joy throughout the music, really. So yeah, that has been this video done. I hope you have enjoyed it and stuck around for it. Please leave a message below, like the video, and subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.